What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're back again for our Monday Night Raw review for May 26, 2018, your Memorial Day Monday Night Raw, which is a typical holiday moment Monday Night Raw, where they always have some kind of stupid shit that disrespects the holiday completely, or makes fun of the WWE Universe and everything. And tonight we had that with the B Team's barbecue, Memorial Day barbecue for the other tag teams, because the B Team wants to be the #1 contenders to the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships, and as just like any of these other things, we used to see it on Thanksgiving. With SmackDown going back to Friday nights next year, we might see something like that with a day after Thanksgiving bullshit that we usually see. But again, it's another one of those front times where they get to throw food at everybody and just make wrestling more embarrassing. Raw tonight showed that a 2-hour show is where it needs to be. The first 2 hours of this show were pretty decent, pretty good. Then we get to the third hour, we have the B Team's barbecue, and we have the gauntlet match, which they touted all night long is one of the more exciting matches in WWE's history. Yes, that's true when it's when you have the right people there, as we did earlier this year before the Elimination Chamber, where Seth Rollins put on a hell of a performance with an hour plus long time in the gauntlet match, taking on Roman Reigns and John Cena, and then getting beat by Elias. That did not happen tonight. These women had about 30 minutes maybe. When you have Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Dana Brooke in a gauntlet match, that is not excitement. Yes, you had Sasha Banks, Bayley, Mickie James, and Ruby Riott, but that's not enough to make this exciting, and the fact that they only got not even a full half of the third hour just shows that this was not going to be exciting. Hell, the first fall was ring the bell, Bayley the bell, 1, 2, 3, Liv Morgan was out. Are you kidding me? And this is excitement? No. Excitement is when Seth Rollins went an hour plus taking on John Cena and Roman Reigns back-to-back to the limit, and still looking like one of the strongest baby faces out there. Seth Rollins, to me, is the man. Some want to say Braun, some want to say Seth. I'm on the Seth wagon. Oh, by the way, another reason why the first 2 hours of Raw were good. No Roman whatsoever. No Roman Reigns promo, no hour dedicated to Roman, no match by Roman, no bullshit trying to make Roman seem like the big man on campus. No Roman anywhere. He was nowhere to be found. Made WWE's Raw seem just a little bit better. But of course we had Jinder Mahal in an Intercontinental title match, so not as good as it could have been. If we would have had somebody else in that spot and Jinder wasn't on the show, which I was surprised with Jinder in this Intercontinental title match, that the post-match didn't have Roman Reigns come out and fuck with Jinder, because those two are facing off at Money in the Bank in a one-on-one match, which better not be the main event. And if it's the main event, Chicago is going to have a riot, literally. Anyway, so no Roman tonight for the first time in a coon's age, probably since his suspension since his measles. Since the measles got a hold of him. Other than that, it's been Roman every single week. Tonight, they gave us a break from Roman, and it felt great. But of course, we'll probably see him next week, since it's 2 weeks to go until we get to Money in the Bank from Houston, Texas, which is going to be from the home of the Houston Rockets, who just got eliminated in 7 games by the Golden State Warriors. So, congratulations to them. That's getting off point. Let's see what else here. We had Strowman, and we had a rematch from last week's main event. Recycle and repeat. Every single week, somebody comes out to a promo to start off Raw. It's usually the general manager. If it's not the general manager, somebody interrupts them. The general manager or an authority figure comes out, makes a match for those two right now. And that's what we got tonight when we got Braun Strowman and Finn Balor in the opening match for today. Kevin Owens was on commentary for that. We'll talk about it a little bit more in a minute. Let's see here. Let's see. Gotta get through all that stuff. We had Elias, who I was like, they were like, Elias is up next, and I'm like, please not Bobby Roode, please not Bobby Roode. Well, he got booked in a match before Elias came out against somebody else, and I was like, Bobby Roode versus somebody not named Elias after 4 weeks of the same shit, over and over and over. Oh my god, his hell frozen over. But no, it was Bobby Roode versus Kevin Owens, and that we'll get into in a minute too. Elias really didn't get to do much, but they did set up, and it hasn't been announced yet, but they did set up that we're going to get Seth Rollins versus Elias, most likely at Money in the Bank. All I gotta say is WWE, pay the man, JD from New York. That guy booked that and said that, and like suggested that match should happen, and they look like they're going in that direction. So, pay the man. Seth Rollins versus Jinder Mahal is in this. What happened tonight too, which was a pretty decent match. Seth Rollins is in the stratosphere of an AJ Styles. He is a younger AJ Styles, and he can make anybody look good. Anybody look good, and he is younger than AJ. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if they're actually about the same age. I think he's in his 30s, which is great because he'll be around a lot longer than AJ Styles, who's in his 40s, heading up to be 41, 42. So. That's great to see, and having somebody like that on your roster is going to make anybody look good. Unfortunately, when Vince McMahon sees Seth Rollins make Jinder Mahal look good, Jinder Mahal, like, Vince McMahon's going to be like, wow, Jinder must be better than I thought he was. That match is going to main event the rest. We're going to have Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal in the main event of Money in the Bank. And there's going to be a total shitstorm, and I guarantee you, if that match is in the freaking main event of Money in the Bank, in Chicago, mind you, it's going to be a riot. I hope people have trash and everything and just pelt that entire ring with trash, because that's what we'd be getting if that's the main event. Let's see here, we also had Nia Jax in a cringe-as-fuck promo. I am so lucky, I am so happy I have PlayStation Vue, because I had the ability to watch 2 or 3 shows at the same time, and I had on my other show, because I had 2 screens up, I had Raw and I had the NBA Western Conference Finals. So while this shit was going on, and she's sitting there trying to pretty much make a fool out of Ronda Rousey, I'm over there watching the fucking, the Warriors come back from a 11-point deficit to murder the Houston Rockets' chance of going to the finals. But from what I saw, it was just a fucking shit show, and it just showed that Nia Jax should never have the microphone in her hand again until she actually stands in front of a mirror and starts practicing promos or doing promo class, because she sucks on the mic, and there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. She is terrible on the mic. The Three Little Worlds face the Ascension in a squash match. Who really fucking cares? The B team, of course, won in a tag team title match. They're still barking up these, we want a tag team title match, which eventually leads to the barbecue segment we get later on the show, which was absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. But it's Memorial Day. It's a holiday, just like Halloween or Easter, which I'm surprised they haven't done anything for Easter, the day after Easter, because they are on Raw the day after Easter every single year. Surprised they didn't do a day after Easter thing. Anyway, just pretty much making a mockery out of this entire holiday, which is supposed to be to serve, say, we're here to support the troops or pay homage to those who served. That's what you give us, a barbecue where it turns into a fucking another food fight. What are we, in middle school? Food fights are for grade schoolers, not for professional wrestlers. And I don't care if it's called sports entertainment. Every single person in that ring roots to a professional wrestler. Don't fucking care. That shit's not entertaining whatsoever. Kevin Owens versus Bobby Roode, which it was an okay match. Sami Zayn, after last week's shit show of a segment with him and Bobby Lashley's sisters, was told to come out and give a public apology, and oh boy did he. and we'll get to that too, and it leads to a match for Money in the Bank. Let's see here. Let me see. Drew McIntyre took on Chad Gable. Drew McIntyre. I'm sorry, anybody who doesn't see Drew McIntyre as a fucking world champion, you're out of your damn mind. Drew McIntyre tonight just made Chad Gable look like a jobber. And we know from watching him wrestle Rusev and Jinder Mahal too, on SmackDown, not Raw, that Chad Gable should be giving opportunities to actually show you what he can do. Chad Gable should have been the guy as the illegitimate son to Kurt Angle. He looks more like him. He acts like him. He has the intensity and the integrity of a Kurt Angle. I can't do it the intelligence one because I'm sure he does. But Kurt Angle's son should have been Chad Gable. I'm not the only one who says that too. Let me see here. We had the BQ Barbecue. Oh boy. We had Strowman versus Bobby Roode. We had all these matches named for next week. I will shout them all out. We had Balor versus Owens, which we'll get into that in a minute, was made for next week. Strowman versus Bobby Roode, because what do these four men have in common? They're the Raw side to the Money in the Bank men's ladder match. So what are we going to do? Strowman faced Balor and Owens faced Roode. Let's mix it up and have Balor and Owens, Strowman and Roode. Next week, and then the go-home show, we'll have Strowman and Owens, Bobby Roode, and Finn Balor. I'm telling you right now, book it. In the back, we had Angle with the B team asking about things, and we get a Battle Royal set up for next week where all the tag teams, outside of probably the AOP, unless the AOP actually make an appearance, which they haven't in 5 straight weeks, it seems like. Unless they make an appearance next week, the B team will probably win the Battle Royal. And then we had the boring, nauseating, shitty-ass gauntlet match. And it's funny, it's kind of ironic how the men's gauntlet match that we had earlier this year had 7 guys. We had the 7 guys from the men's Elimination Chamber a week before the Elimination Chamber. Tonight, we had a last chance match for 7 women. So it's rinse and repeat. Let's do what the men did, let's just shorten it down and give it to the women. And that's what we got. Tonight's show should have stopped at 10 o'clock. Plain and simple. As soon as 10 o'clock was over, that should have been it. Remove a match from the first 2 hours and take the Drew McIntyre match and put it there. I can't tell you which. Take the tag team title match, the tag team championship match, put it in the 3rd hour. Take the Drew McIntyre match, put it in the 2nd hour, and just erase that 3rd hour, and you got yourself a pretty decent show. Raw again tonight proved why it should be a 2-hour show. After that 3rd hour, you can just tell that they're just phoning it in, they're throwing darts at the dartboard, and they don't give a shit on a weekly basis. I mean, last week's main event for Monday Night Raw, Finn Balor versus Braun Strowman, was pretty fucking good. But that's not something they do every week. We don't have the consistency of great main events every single week. That's got to stop. They need to actually sit there and give us good shows over and over. But they don't. They continue to do this. And it's just pathetic, petty, and stupid. The show started off with Braun Strowman, not Kurt Angle for the first time in it seems like weeks. Braun Strowman comes out and makes his demand and gets slapped by Finn Balor before Kurt Angle makes a match.
When I see that briefcase, I get motivated.
First and foremost, last year, before and after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and the second Money in the Bank, they were not allowed to say briefcase whatsoever. I guess Braun Strowman is like a big giant. He can say whatever he wants, but be consistent. Is briefcase allowed to be said, or is it only supposed to be a contract? Briefcase or contract? Make up your mind, Vince.
I get motivated because I know inside there's a contract that guarantees me a universal title opportunity at any given time in any arena in the entire world.
I want them to have like a show in the UK or like in Japan or something that they do a Raw or SmackDown or a pay-per-view which I know that's not going to happen, where they because he said the entire world. I would love them to have a Money in the Bank briefcase cash in off U.S. soil, because I'm pretty sure every single Money in the Bank cash in has been on U.S. soil. So that'd be something interesting. That's just a little nitpick for me.
At Money in the Bank, I destroy 7 other men. Then I climb to the top of that ladder and I take that briefcase and that contract. Then I will not only be known as Mr. Money in the Bank, I'll be known as Mr. Monster in the Bank. And who's gonna stop me? Not The Miz, not Bobby Roode, after last week, not Finn Balor, not a single member of the New Day, nor Rusev, nor Kevin Owens. I'm taking that Money in the Bank briefcase and I'm cashing in that contract, and Brock Lesnar is gonna get these hands!
They cut them all out, but there was a ton of get these hands chants. That thing is wide, like way over. Of course, it's something that somebody who's a babyface says, and it gets way over. Sometimes feels the same way. But of course, the obligatory, I cut out and cut a promo. Someone comes out to interfere, and this interference is by Finn Balor.
Getting ahead of yourself there, big man. This guy here was their very first Universal Champion.
Then you hold it for one day.
And I never lost that title, and I gotta be honest, that eats away at me every single day. So I am...
Oh, it now eats away for you. Eats away at you every single day. No mention of this since you've come back, except for on Miz TV, back when you first came back, a month, like the first pay-per-view after you came back. Now it eats away with you at you almost 2 years later. Are you kidding me? What the fuck?
Determined to get back to the top. I'm gonna climb one of them ladders, and I am gonna take back what is mine. Now me and you, last week we went one-on-one, and I gave you everything that I have. But at Money in the Bank, there's gonna be 6 other competitors in the ring with us, and it's gonna be every man for himself.
You put up a really good fight for a little guy.
Can someone please tell me why he wouldn't be able to take on Brock Lesnar then? Just wondering. Then they had a little bit of a stare down. They cut it out in this, but Seth Rollins, Finn Balor just went out and slaps Braun Strowman, who gets pissed off and just puts him in one corner and tosses him across the ring to the other corner, like a little rag ball.
As you guys mentioned, and Braun Strowman is not done. Wait just a second.
Copyright problems. I don't want to be copyright claimed. You don't have to keep on doing the whole conducting. Why couldn't they cut this out? I mean, seriously.
See out here, intensity. One of my favorite eyes. You know, the Money in the Bank ladder match will feature 4 superstars from Raw and 4 superstars from SmackDown.
You can count that.
Competing for the Money in the Bank contract, with the winner facing the champion of the respected brand at any time. Now, Finn Balor, you said you gave everything you had against Braun Strowman last week. It was an incredible match. So, Richmond, how would you like to see Finn Balor versus Braun Strowman right now?
So, of course, he makes the match, Finn Balor versus Braun Strowman. Rinse and repeat. It worked so well last week in the main event, which it was a pretty awesome match. Let's make it the opening of this show. Oh, the creativity on this show sucks. And people wonder why me and other people complain about this show. And then people come at me and saying, oh, well, it's not for wrestling purists. I know it's not for wrestling purists, but give me a goddamn break. This is what we saw last week in the main event, and now you're opening the show with it? Are you fucking serious? God damn, this creative is fucking stupid. Now, this match had Kevin Owens on commentary. Braun Strowman tossed Balor from end to end for the majority of this match. And can we please and it was funny because Coach was being called Monday Night Saxton by Corey Graves, which I thought was pretty fucking funny, even though I take Byron Saxton over Coach by this point. Kevin Owens, can we please replace, just like Joe on SmackDown taking over for Byron Saxton, can we please take Samoa Joe, not Samoa Joe, but Kevin Owens, and remove Coach and put Kevin Owens there, because he gives more to the actual show than Coach does. Coach in his, my one word for this hour, who gives a fuck about the one words? It's fucking retarded. We're not fucking Sesame Street, for fuck's sake. Balor does get a kick to Braun Strowman's face. Balor tries to fight him, but Braun ends that little run. Balor eats a shot to the face for a 2 count. Balor is getting monster handled. I put manhandled, but it's monster handled. Braun screams, "Stay down!" I can't do the Braun Strowman, that hurts my throat. Balor with a drop kick, but that's about it. Boot to the gut of Balor. Owens gets on the mic and he antagonizes Braun, telling him, you're the monster among men. This guy slapped you in the face, so you're just gonna take that line down. Pretty much trying to get these two to pretty much tear each other apart. Because later in the match, he does the same thing to Finn Balor. Back from breaking, Balor sidesteps Braun in the corner and gets a step up enziguri, but Braun Strowman ends up sending Balor to the outside. Balor's outside, just trying to get up. Braun Strowman exits the ring towards the opposite side of the hard camera, runs around, and just bull rushes Finn Balor into the crowd, onto security and a car. I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping there were plants there, because if not, he actually threw Finn Balor into a security guy who went into a couple members of the crowd, which, as long as nobody's hurt, which I hope nobody was, I'm pretty sure those guys are starstruck, oh my god, I got Finn Balor thrown into me by Braun Strowman, but hopefully nobody got hurt in that segment, because either they were plants or somebody probably could have got hurt there. Braun exits Braun brings Finn back, catches Finn Balor on his shoulder and just gets over the barricade. Finn Balor gets off of his shoulder and shoves him into the ring post. Balor drop kicks Braun out of the ring. And Owens starts antagonizing him. He says, "You're the extraordinary man who does extraordinary things." What kind of fucking tagline is that, may I ask? That is the dumbest thing I think I've heard. But he's show us what you can do. Step that thing to enziguri, then a leap to Strowman on the outside. Taunting is everyone's greatest weakness, because Braun, he does the little leap over the top rope onto Strowman. He's flexing, and Braun Strowman grabs him. Tosses Balor back inside the ring, but Balor gets a sling break, then a drop kick into the corner, then a coup de grace on the back. Balor back up again and hits another coup de grace. He goes for a third one, which they count the one on the back, double a coup de grace because it was off the top rope. But Kevin Owens, which you didn't hear the earphones drop, so he must be really silent at that stuff. He comes over and takes out Finn Balor. He goes in, and Finn Balor wins by DQ. Owens grabs the ladder and takes out Finn Balor on the outside. Then he takes the ladder into the ring and tries to attack Strowman, who just grabs it and pulls it away. Owens bails. And the feat of strength of Braun Strowman amazes me a lot of times. This dude, with the ladder on top of his head, from mid-ring, just winds up and tosses the ladder, and it goes so far, it goes down the aisleway and actually lands on onto the ramp. It's not going all the way down. It's halfway. That's a long throw. I'll tell you that right now. Elias is up next, they say, but not. And I said, please not against Bobby Roode. He doesn't actually have a match, but we'll get to that in a second, because when we come back from break, KO is trying to leave, but Angle says, "Where are you going? You have a match tonight. I don't know what you're thinking. You have a match against Bobby Roode." So I was like, oh my god, did hell freeze over? Bobby Roode's not facing Elias for the 5th straight week. So that was good. They have Elias out there. I don't think they have the audio for it, which is, let me see here. Yeah, they do.
Schwab is the better.
Yes, Elias is out and trying to have a performance. But that doesn't go well.
Now, tonight's song is very special to me. See, it's one of those ones where I picked up the guitar and the words and the music, it just came to me, you know? There's a bit of magic. It is going to require total concentration, and I know we're in the South, but try to keep up.
Can someone tell me from that little bit of musical riff there, because I don't know, that sounds familiar, like it's a really famous song, I just can't think of it off the top of my head. So if anyone knows what he's actually ripping off, let me know in the comment section, because that's like, it sounds familiar, it really does.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Okay, so normally this lighting is fine, but this crowd tonight in Virginia is particularly disgusting, so...
Elias, you gotta admire Elias's work.
I mean, sir... Okay, I can't look at that. If we could bring the lights in, just...
You have to admire Elias's work here as a heel. This guy, I could say, like, in the ring he's a heel, but like on the microphone, he's like a quick tweener, because he comes out, everyone's doing the walk with Elias. He starts looking like he's gonna be a little bit of a babyface, and then immediately he gets that heat, that natural heel heat that WWE wishes most of their heels could get. You gotta admire what this guy can do, because this guy is a heat magnet when needs to be, and he does it right.
A little bit. Okay, that's good. Right on. Okay.
Whatever this really is, I don't want to get copyright claim.
Oh, you know what? One other thing, actually. Lance, if you could bring the vocals up, okay? Bring the vocals up. I want to hear more of me. I want to hear more Elias, less of them. We'll soften the guitar a little bit. Good. Yep. Okay. When I say I love Elias, you say yes I do. That's it. That's right where we want to be. All right, good. Yeah. I mean, I got to do everybody's job around here, you know.
Oh, you gotta love Elias.
You know, is there anything I can't do? You know, it's like I'm a Renaissance man. And not that anybody in Richmond would have any idea what that is, but... Just one more thing. This is going to require complete silence.
Gotta love Elias.
So right now, I need you all to shut your mouths. If you think I am messing around, I will sit here all night until I can hear a pin drop.
Actually, what happened was, like, he said I can hear a pin drop, and they actually cut to commercial break and said Corey Graves said he better hurry up, because up next is Jinder Mahal versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title. They come back from break, Elias is still in the ring, and people are chanting leave.
I think the crowd's saying sing.
Seth Rollins music hits, and Seth Rollins makes his way out. I love the fact that the crowd is so behind Seth Rollins that when Burn It Down comes on, you just hear everyone say Burn It Down. That's just great. He makes his way to the ring. These two stare down, and Seth Rollins grabs Elias' chair and just tosses it over the ring, and then says, and pretty much just steps to the side and points to the thing, and just pretty much is like, without saying a word, is like, just, there you go, there's your exit. First and foremost, before I say anything else, happy birthday to Seth Rollins. I hope he has a better birthday night after what happened at the end of this match. But we had Sunil gets Rollins with a drop kick, then chops the drawing to Jinder Mahal. Rollins all over Jinder from the start because he is pretty much still angry from what happened last week. This is revenge for Seth Rollins. He issued the challenge for this match because he wanted to take care of Jinder Mahal himself. Sunil Singh gets the distraction and Rollins is sent to the barricade as they go to break. Mahal in control. When we come back, abdominal stretch on Rollins, have to have a rest holds. Rollins eats a knee to the gut as Jinder works on the midsection of Rollins. Seth Rollins knows how to sell a body part, I tell you what. Rollins drives Jinder's face down to the middle turnbuckle, leapfrog into a sling blade to Jinder. Rollins sends Mahal over the top rope, Rollins with the suicide dive to the outside. Seth Rollins has one of the best suicide dives in the game, plain and simple. Back in the ring, Rollins with the blockbuster after a kick in the corner. Rollins gets a 2 count. Jinder with a gutbuster to Rollins for a 2. I will say, Jinder Mahal's gutbuster is a pretty good move. Honestly, if that turned out, if he could make that his finisher or something like that his finisher, other than that awful $1 Million Dream, which the Colossus, plain and simple, the Colossus is Ted DiBiase Jr.'s finisher. What Ted DiBiase Jr. used to use is what he uses now, and he calls it the Colossus. Looks like shit and should never be used again. Super kick to Jinder's face when they found then a Falcon Arrow. We did not get a superplex into a Falcon Arrow combo today, which is nice. We've been seeing that a lot in Seth Rollins matches, so it's nice to see it not happen. I mean, he did hit the Falcon Arrow after a super kick, so changing it up a little bit is always a good thing to go. Seeing these guys and girls do the same moves every single match, they don't feel special anymore. So him cutting out and not having the superplex into the Falcon Arrow for this match was great for Seth Rollins. Kip up by Rollins, he tunes up the band or tunes up the foot, Sunil Singh gets involved. Mahal rolls out of the ring and gets under the ring and hits Seth Rollins with a steel chair as the referee is telling Sunil to leave. He's kicking him out, but he'll come back later. Mahal only gets a 2 count, which Mahal looks for a Colossus, but Rollins block and hits a kick up. Sunil Singh gets back in the ring and he is buckle bombed into Jinder Mahal, and everybody is down. Rollins sees the chair, grabs the chair, and hits Jinder in the back for the DQ. Jinder Mahal wins by disqualification. After the match, Rollins continues the attack on Mahal and Sunil Singh as Rollins chases off Mahal. Seth Rollins starts celebrating. He has the chair in his hand still. He gets on the announce table, raises his hands, and all of a sudden, all you see is whack, whack, a guitar shot to the back of Seth Rollins, who goes forward over the announce table. There is no table. They didn't show the spot in the way that you could see, but there definitely was no table below. You would have heard it. He just goes 10, that's at least a 10-foot drop. Maybe less, maybe an 8, 9, 10-foot drop that Seth Rollins just did from the top of the announce table to that concrete floor. And I don't think there's padding back there, so that shit had to hurt. Back from break, and Rollins is being carted on the gurney. He's on the gurney. They have him on the gurney, neck brace and everything. And Seth Rollins is like, just give me a minute. Give me a minute. On his birthday, Seth Rollins pretty much said, this got Seth Rollins cheered more than anything. This made Seth Rollins more over. This is the shit that they want to have. This is what they want for Roman Reigns. These cheers. Doing this for Seth Rollins made Seth Rollins even more over. This dude, on his birthday, is like, I am not getting on this gurney here. I'm going to walk out on my own 2 feet with Jamie Noble and Adam. Well, he had Jamie Noble there helping him with Adam Pearce right beside him. But still, Seth Rollins looked like a fucking badass. He got hit in the back with a guitar, fell over, and was like, he pulled like a Stone Cold when Stone Cold got his neck broken. Which I'm pretty sure Seth Rollins didn't have that happen. But he got up and was like, I ain't going out like this. I'm not going out. I'm going out on my own 2 feet. Now, in the back, he probably got checked out by the EMTs because I'm telling you right now, that fucking fall had to hurt. You would have heard him fall through tables. There were no tables there. I mean, yes, they went to commercial break, like, immediately. But you didn't hear the sound of tables crashing. You just heard whack, Seth Rollins fall forward, and that was that. So, he looked like a fucking badass right there. That just made Seth Rollins look even, like, put him over even more. So them trying to get Roman Reigns over, but yet you're doing this with Seth Rollins and making him look like a fucking badass, a guy who goes through hell and still get up. This little segment they had with Elias knocking Seth Rollins over and him getting up actually hurts Roman Reigns as well. Plain and simple. Just saying that now. This tonight, and seeing how well Seth Rollins is put over, and how the fans, like, as soon as he got up and started walking, the Richmond, Virginia, just like the roof blew off the building for a minute because they were like, wow, that guy is a fucking tough son of a bitch. But look at Roman Reigns. Look how much he's a pussy. Look how much he gets his ass kicked time and time again by fucking Brock Lesnar. But yet Seth Rollins gets knocked over with a shot to the back by a guitar. Over the announce table, a 10-foot drop at the most. Gets up on his own 2 feet and walks off like a champion. That guy should be facing Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. That guy should be the next Universal Champion. That guy is the fucking man. Fight me. Don't at me. Don't fight me. Seth Rollins is the man, and tonight proved it. Now from that high, we go to a low. Nia Jax is out here. And I thought she was coming out for a promo. I thought it was going to be a promo, and then we'll have Ronda Rousey and her come out and stare down. It was pretty much a promo with a ass-kicking of somebody that I didn't even give a fuck about their name. You have the WWE Raw Women's Champion coming out here having exhibitions, squash matches, pretty much destroying no-name talents just to say, this is what I'm going to do to you, Ronda, Money in the Bank. This is what's going to happen to you. Your armbar is going to mean nothing to you. This is the best you got. This is the best you got. Alexa Bliss, then Nia Jax. Those are your last. These are the last two women's champions of Raw, and both title reigns are fucking shit. I hope Ronda Rousey wins the title so we can have it on a legit star, because this shit is fucking pathetic. You're gonna have to listen to this shit and listen to how bad Nia Jax is on the microphone, because she is a fucking. She is just awful.
Kick this off real quick. Let me start off by having my opponent here demonstrate that thingy you do. What was that thingy? What's the armbar? The armbar. That's what it is. That's what you do.
Oh God.
It's quite a treat, an exhibition. Well, it seems a little disrespectful, Rhonda, that she couldn't remember what that is.
Well, it's good for me. If she can't even remember the name, she probably won't remember the defense.
Well, look at Nia Jax now powering out of this armbar, and she could do this to you. Money in the Bank.
Do you think you can put this on Nia Jax?
Oh!
She just powerbombs the woman.
With somebody the size of Nia Jax.
That's true, but I think I'm capable of anything. The armbar.
The one thing I hate about these exhibitions against no-name talent, it doesn't do anything for the feud. This woman, who don't know her goddamn name, don't give a fuck, is not Ronda Rousey. Yeah, she let her put the armbar on her. When Ronda Rousey puts the armbar on Nia Jax and Money in the Bank, she will go to break her arm. There is a difference. This does not help this feud at all. You came out and said on NBC showcase that you want to face Ronda Rousey because she's a legitimate woman. She's gonna kick your ass, and hopefully, I'm hoping because she's favored now, I guess, to win the Raw Women's Championship. And quite honestly, I wouldn't mind if she did, because I want this title off of Nia Jax now, not tomorrow, not next week. I want it off Nia Jax now. So at Money in the Bank, I'm picking Ronda Rousey. I'll get my preview predictions in a couple days before Money in the Bank, but I'm just saying it now. Ronda Rousey needs to take the title off of Nia Jax because she's fucking awful.
It doesn't really mean much to me. That's if you can actually apply it on me. But we'll see. She's still got more left in her. Come on! Get on up! Show them what you got. Let's go.
You're horrible on the fucking mic.
Show them what you got. Oh, she's ready.
Look, Nia's opponent is no slouch. I mean, that's Michelle Webb. She was a Surrey County Judo champion. Oh, and there's a
Who cares?
I could easily get a victory on that. A little 1, 2, 3. especially on you at Money in the Bank. But I'm not done yet.
And what is Ronda smiling the whole fucking time? She's at the Atlantic commentator's desk, just smiling the whole fucking time, thinking this is a whole big joke. Are you fucking kidding me? This is for the biggest prize the women have on Monday Night Raw, and you're sitting there smiling, having a good time. Give me a fucking break. I'm gonna kill you, Ronda, the entire time. Enough of the fucking smiling. Nia Jax should never smile again, because I was like, that smile that Nia Jax has is a thing of nightmares. Plain and simple. A thing of nightmares.
What else does Nia have to prove here? Oh, this look out, leg drop.
She's not getting up. No. Now, Ronda, you've never faced anything like that in the UFC, now have you? Now, if I wanted to, this leg could literally crush a woman's chest.
Really? Because you haven't done that before?
You know what else could crush a woman's chest? This, too.
Oh my goodness, Nia Jax gonna do it again! Oh my God, a rolling senton!
Oh God.
We've never seen anything like her, that's true. It looks as though this young girl needs some assistance. Probably some assistance that you're gonna need at Money in the Bank. But why don't you come on down and help her out? Come on. She can't be serious.
I think she is serious. What about it, Ronda? Well,
Oh God.
Look, I've heard so much about. Wow. That's pretty good. But you see, I'm not so intimidated by it. In fact, I find it quite humorous. You cute.
I push my fingers into my ears. God damn, she is awful.
The psychological warfare has already begun. Nia Jax just...
Oh God, I'm sorry, but this is what you have for Ronda Rousey's second feud. A shitty fucking champion who can't fucking talk on the fucking microphone, is mediocre at best in the fucking ring. Who do you think should win this match at Money in the Bank? I would love to know that in the comment section, because honestly, this feud is just not even worth it anymore. Just not even worth it. So, moving on. The Leader of Worlds versus the Ascension. Wow, it's nice to see. It's interesting to see the tag team champions on the show. They beat the Leaders of the World, win with the kiss of deletion for the 3 count. Not much else to say here. The Ascension are just jobber fodder. Gee, imagine 2014 NXT TakeOver Arrival. The Ascension versus Too Cool for the NXT Tag Team Champions. These guys were on their way to almost a 1 day short of 306. They were a 364-day title reign where they lost to the Lucha Dragons. These guys were dominating. Yes, they faced jobbers back then because the NXT Tag Team division was not what it is today. The Ascension would probably thrive in NXT's Tag Team division today. Honestly, I wish they would put the Ascension back into NXT. Give them something to do down there. Let them go against the War Raiders. Have them go up against the Street Profits and the who else? The Undisputed Era. And there's other ones too I can't think of off the top of my head, but you get the idea. They would probably do way better than they are up here. Since the day they came up to WWE, they were killed. And you know that somebody is going to, like a team or an act is dead. When a heel act for sure, it's dead. When the heel commentator, when it was JBL, the guy who's supposed to be in favor of the heels, is killing them on commentary, burying them on commentary. The Ascension suck, the Ascension are dead, and they need to be off TV. Ending back, and Kurt Angle was watching the match, the B team are there, just joking and laughing. He's like, you call that a celebration? Huh. That's loser's quarter, whatever. They want a tag team match, title match with Angle and Nasdaq. They want to invite the team. Curtis Axel's pretty much growing this like he's trying to talk to Bo Dallas and say shit about Kurt Angle when Kurt Angle's still there. He acts like Kurt Angle's not there anymore. Kind of funny, I guess, but, you know. He denies that, and they pretty much come up with this tag team Memorial Day barbecue, which we'll get to that later. I'm not going to probably play any audio, but I will list who was all there. And one team who, if they would have been there, I would have been a little bit disappointed, was absent still 5 weeks in a row. Owens versus Bobby Roode. It was an okay match. Bobby Roode needs to turn heel ASAP. Roode goes for the glorious DDT, but Owens blocks and ends up rolling Roode up for the 3 count. Kevin Owens is your winner. Post-match, Braun Strowman music hits because Braun Strowman ran off Kevin Owens earlier, and Kevin Owens got chased into the ring. He's running around the ring. Bobby Roode's still in the ring at this time. Kevin Owens is being chased around the ring. Bobby Roode slides out and stops him so Braun Strowman could catch him. Owens gets manhandled and hit with the running power slam. Bobby Roode, for whatever fucking reason, gets into the ring and starts cheering on Braun Strowman. He gets on the turnbuckle and is like, one more. Bobby Roode and Braun Strowman hits one more. Bobby Roode's excited, he's happy, and so Braun Strowman turns around, goozles him, and hits him with the running power slam. It pays to be rude, and if you know when that catchphrase was actually done, let me know in the comment section because there's a little trivia for you. Zayn to have a public apology. Oh, buddy. Not mad about this one at all, but let me see here. Yeah. The
WWE Universe.
I would like to say I do love the fact that Sami Zayn's got the gold man glasses still. I know I don't know who it's a rib on, but it's still funny.
The entire Lashley family. Last week I conducted a highly rated interview with Bobby Lashley's 3 sisters that some perceive to be insensitive, inappropriate, and in poor taste.
You said that right, and I don't buy that management says that they weren't happy about this because they're the fucking idiots who who said go out there and do this. Go out there and do this. I'm pretty sure the backlash they got, and I don't mean the pay-per-view that was last month, that was shitty as fuck. That segment was terrible, and having Sami Zayn come out and do this apology is them retconning the entire segment and being like, oh, well, we fucked up, here you go, here's an apology.
Reaction on social media was swift and unkind, and my interview was described as brutal and cringeworthy, and one young fan went so far as to say it made him embarrassed to be a fan of Sami Zayn.
Wonder who that was. Wink, wink.
That's when I realized that last week I did something that I promised I would never do. I lied to you. Those were not Bobby Lashley's real sisters.
What? Nah. No way. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Really?
In fact, well, they were men. They were men that I hired just to have a little fun at Bobby Lashley's expense, and my goal was only to entertain and to inform, but not to provoke. And therefore, I'd just like to say to the Lashley family, to WWE management, and to the entire WWE universe, I just want to say that I'm sorry.
We're sorry for you, Sammy. I know it hurt fans of Sami Zayn to see him have to go through that last week. And I've been a fan of Sami Zayn since NXT. When NXT went up to WWE Network in 2014. I've seen him since then. I really didn't get to see him as El Generico in Ring of Honor because I didn't get to follow Ring of Honor back in the day. But it just hurt my heart and other people who care and want to see this guy succeed after everything positive him and Kevin Owens did on SmackDown up until WrestleMania, to see him have to go through that. So hopefully, after this whole Bobby Lashley thing's over with, him and Kevin Owens can back together and be a tag team, and maybe even win the tag team titles, which I could see them doing, which they've done in other places.
However, it should be noted that everything I said last week was true. And fine, yes,
Those were actors playing Bobby Lashley's sisters, but all of those stories were true. Because like all good art, my expose on Bobby Lashley was rooted in reality. And listen, I know that I am such a brilliant artist that I don't expect you to get it. But there is no doubt in my mind that history will look back on last week's interview segment very favorably.
No, it will not. Not at all. That is never going to be a favorable outlook. The next 25 years, when we get to Raw 50 years, in 25 years, when we get to Raw 50th Raw, so around by then, when they go with the next, when they go with the top segments, that segment will be nowhere to be found.
And there is also no doubt in my mind, you know what? No. I'm the one who's doing the right thing. I'm the one who's doing the right thing. I'm trying to speak the truth. I'm the one exposing Bobby Lashley for being a bully, for being a liar, and yet I'm the one catching flack? No. So if anybody wants to be sorry for anything, it's each and every single one of you who should be feeling sorry for me.
I hope they had this in here, but what he says next, I totally 100% agree with everything he says from here on out. Nope, they didn't cut it. They cut it. What he said after that was, he said he deserves more than what he's getting right now. He should be in Money in the Bank. He should be taking on Seth Rollins. He should be getting more than what he's actually getting, and I 100% fucking agree. Sami Zayn is worth more than the shit that they're giving him right now. He is one of the most talented guys on this fucking roster. He should be in championship matches. He should be in top feuds. This guy transitioned from a babyface, the underdog from the underground, to a dastardly, cocky heel. Nobody thought it was going to work. Nobody was like, oh, they can't turn Sami Zayn heel. He's never going to do anything with that. And what happened? It was the best thing he ever did as a fucking performer. He deserves better than this entire Bobby Lashley feud. After Money in the Bank, this feud needs to end, and these two need to go their separate ways, and Sami Zayn should be going up against... I would love to see Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins one-on-one at Extreme Rules for the Intercontinental title. Kevin Owens can deal with the Universal Championship picture, because that's where he should be. Sami Zayn should be in the Intercontinental title hunt with guys like a Elias, a Seth Rollins, a Finn Balor. Just my opinion.
Good to see you again. And you know, my sisters, the ones that you never, ever contacted, they actually think you're quite entertaining. That was fun last week, but all that stuff gets old really, really fast. And I can see you and I have some type of issue. So why don't we just settle this like men, Sammy, and do it in the ring? Me and you have Money in the Bank. What do you say?
Wants his hand, he shake his hand, they shake hands.
Good, you got what you wanted? Hey, I just want to let you know, Money in the Bank, I'm going to haluva kick that stupid smile right off your face. Yeah.
And the smile is gone. That's the Bobby Lashley I want to see. Get rid of the fucking smile. You don't have to smile 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. It's alright for a babyface to have a serious face every once in a while. It hurts Bobby Lashley, it hurts Ronda Rousey, it hurts Finn Balor, it hurts The New Day, it hurts every single person out there who is a babyface on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, any fucking wrestling promotion. If you smile all the time, you don't look genuine. You look like a fucking phony. It hurts. It helps nobody. Smiling is not the answer for everything. You got to let these guys put out real emotion. We don't see Seth Rollins smiling all the time. He doesn't have his teeth out all the time. This guy is serious. Roman Reigns, even though we don't like him, he doesn't smile that much. He's pissed off at the WWE management. But have Bobby Lashley with the serious face. He comes down and he's like, Sammy, it's great to see you again, with a smile on his face. Enough of the smiling. If there's something funny or you're happy about something, it's okay to smile. But when you're trying to be serious about something, your smiling has got to go. Nia Jax should, like I said, Nia Jax should never smile again. That smile she has is a thing of nightmares. Period. I wish I had like a Little Shop of Horrors or some kind of horror movie reference to a like creepy smile. You find one, put it with Nia Jax, and there you go.
I think the match has been made.
Bobby Lashley won't let go of his hand, and he just starts to squeeze. I'm pretty sure he almost broke Sami Zayn's hand.
Hey, you're hurting me. Get off me. I got an apology of my own. I apologize for everything that I'm going to do to you at Money in the Bank.
That's the Bobby Lashley I want to see. He lets go and then he just starts smiling. But in that small second, as soon as that smile disappeared, he starts squeezing that hand of Sami Zayn and cuts that little bit of a promo. That's the Bobby Lashley I want to see. Heel, babyface. That's Bobby Lashley we need to see. Not Bobby Lashley we see on a weekly basis who comes out with a smile on his face. Cut out the smiling. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure they come to ground and Vince is like, hey, don't forget to smile. Why? What is there to smile about? You're going to be competing in a match. Smiling needs to stop. Now, if someone cuts a joke, you can laugh. Especially if the joke is funny, because the jokes are funny sometimes. But if there's no reason to smile. Braun Strowman doesn't smile. Could you imagine if Braun Strowman walked to the ring with a big grin on his face? That would just kill Braun Strowman immediately. He would come out looking like he's not serious. Braun Strowman doesn't have to smile. He just comes out with the serious look on his face all the time. He's a fucking babyface, yet they want to have everyone else smile. Kill the fucking smiling. And yes, I just went on like a 10-minute rant about smiling, but it's got to stop. Smiling has not helped, like, just having, like, Finn Balor in NXT. Did you see him smiling all the time? No, because he was serious. The only time you don't see Finn Balor smiling is when the demon comes out. When is that going to happen? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But that was that, and we have Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn next at Money in the Bank. So Bobby Lashley will probably roll over him, but we'll get to that later. Drew McIntyre versus Chad Gable. Everybody, Chad Gable is just becoming a jobber to other guys, and that's sad because Chad Gable was worth more than that. But Drew McIntyre just beat the holy piss out of him. Yes, Chad Gable got a couple shots out, but this was like just a squash match, really. He tosses Gable around like a doll, then he chops in the corner. Drew says, Chad isn't on, Chad, you weren't on my bloody level. Just says it like that, like it was good, in his voice. Some shots by Gable, but then he eats a boot to the face. Drew mounts Gable and just starts pounding away at him on just clubbing blows to Chad freaking Gable's face. It was nasty. Drew lifts up Gable and then tosses him into a vertical suplex. Like he picked him up like he was going to do the Freak of Nature, Joe Hendry's finisher, if you know who that is. And he just throws him up and hits a vertical suplex. Fucking awesome little sequence right there. Drew just having his way with Gable. Gable looks for his suplexes. And he looked for a suplex, but he eats it back elbow. He went for a German suplex, but gets eat with a back elbow. Drew just tosses Gable from one end to another again. Drew takes Gable to the top, who knocks Drew off corner and hits a moonsault for a 2 count. That's about all. And then we do get to the outside, and Gable gets some elbows onto Drew, and then a spin kick. Then that was all the offense Chad Gable got in this match, because he goes for a splash and he gets caught off the apron and gets thrown into the ring post, and he gets tossed back in the ring. He eats a claymore, which looked like if his head was not attached, if his head was like attached by screws or something, his head would have been in the 3rd row, or he would have been up in the cheap sheets with how nasty that claymore looked. 1, 2, 3, Drew McIntyre wins. B-Team Barbecue was next. Really? What the fuck? Right before that, they did announce Lashley and Zayn for the Money in the Bank, which we'll get into that when Money in the Bank comes around. Tag teams that were in this entire fucking shit segment: Slater and Lana, the Revival, the Titus Worldwide, the Ascension, Breezango, and the B-Team. No Authors of Pain. Which, quite honestly, I was hoping the Authors of Pain would have came out and destroyed everybody, put everybody through these tables, just for the hell of it. All teams arguing who the fuck cares. This is awful. The B team gets covered in their own food. We get a fucking food fight. What a food fight. What are we, in fucking middle school? This is garbage. And the B team puts Rhino through a table. And I already mentioned next week's matches. Balor versus Owens. Next week, Strowman versus Bobby Roode. Nia Jax versus Natalya. Nia Jax versus Natalya. For whatever reason, just to have, I guess, Nia Jax make an example out of Ronda Rousey's friend, which will piss off Ronda Rousey, and this could actually lead, if Natalya wins Money in the Bank, which he is actually now the favorite, she's now the favorite for whatever reason, but if she wins Money in the Bank, this next week's match could actually plant the seeds for what happens at Money in the Bank. The women's ladder match should start the show. And Natalya wins an hour later, because this is going to be a 4-hour show. An hour or 2 hours later, we have the Raw Women's Championship match. Nia Jax is down. Look, both women are down. It looks like Nia Jax is going to win, or Ronda Rousey is going to win. Music hits. Ronda Rousey's moment is stolen by Natalya, with Ronda Rousey not getting the pinfall, having Natalya beat Nia Jax 1, 2, 3, and Natalya is your next Raw Women's Champion by stealing the thunder of her best friend, and that leads to some Extreme Rules or SummerSlam, whenever they want to do it. In the MAC angle with the B team, a tag team battle royal was made for next week. This is, I think, the most matches we have had named for a next week's Raw in a long time. We have Balor versus Owens, Strowman versus Roode, Nia Jax versus Natalya, and a tag team battle royal. That's at least an hour and a half showing right there. That's really odd for WWE to even do that. Women's in the Money in the Bank qualifier gauntlet match. We start off with Bayley and Liv Morgan, and the bell rings, and Liv Morgan's out with the Bayley and the Belly. Sarah Logan's out second. Second elimination was Sarah Logan by roll-up after a few minutes. Then, of course, Liv Morgan, who was still ringside, comes in and they beat down Bayley. Ruby Riot's out next, who picks the bones and eliminates Bayley. Up next is Dana Brooke, eliminated by a Riot kick. Not too much there. So, other than Bayley, the 3 women who suck at fucking wrestling were eliminated like that. How is that exciting? Mickie James is eliminated by a roll-up in the tights being held, and then we had Sasha Banks and Ruby Riot, and Sasha Banks wins the match with a Banks statement. Even though the Riot Squad tried to get involved, Ruby Riot tries to roll up Sasha Banks as the Riot Squad interferes, but that leads to a Banks statement and a tap out, and your winner is Sasha Banks. So Sasha Banks has finished off the field for the women. The women are Ember Moon, Natalya, Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss for Raw. You have Charlotte, Becky, Lana, oh my god, Lana, and Naomi for SmackDown. So there is your women. The men will be found out tomorrow when we have, which they touted so much tonight. Do you know it's a big deal when you have Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe in the main event of SmackDown, that they talked about it like 3 or 4 or 5 times tonight? That is a big deal for WWE. It should be on a pay-per-view, but as we know, pay-per-views aren't going to mean jack shit in the next year when they're making shit tons of money on SmackDown and Raw. The pay-per-views or special events, whatever they want to call them, are going to mean absolutely nothing. So tomorrow, you got to be ready for that match. So Sasha Banks is the final woman in Money in the Bank for everybody. That is Monday Night Raw. It was a good show for 2 hours. 2 hours was good. Take the Leader of the World's match and replace it with the Drew McIntyre match, which I'm pretty sure was at the beginning of the third hour. Put that match in the second hour and just get rid of everything in the third hour. And Raw tonight would have been a C grade for me, maybe, if I was to do letters. Right now, I would have to give it a C minus, maybe a C plus if it was a 2 hour. If it's a 2 hour show, it could be easily a B minus show for anybody who does grading. But that third hour really brought Raw back down. No Stephanie, great. No Roman, wonderful. Jinder didn't help anything. He kind of, Seth Rollins gave him the best he could. That was Jinder's second best match in a year outside of his match with AJ Styles. And you wonder why people call Seth Rollins the best thing going on Monday Night Raw. And why he is Monday Night Rollins. So again, we have matches to look forward to next week, which is as Matt Wilkenmatt would say, wonderful. And I expect the B team to be going to Money in the Bank to take on the Tag Team Champions, because unless the Revival come in or we have the AOP make their return to steal the spotlight of the B team, it's going to be the B team versus the Deleter of Worlds at Money in the Bank, and I don't know how you're thinking about that, but I could care fucking less. But that is going to be all for your Monday Night Raw review. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, find me on Twitter at TheFrauds, find me on twitch.tv/TheFrauds, where I am there every single day. I will see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown Live, and I cannot wait to see what we get for Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe. I'm hoping it to be a good match, but this is a SmackDown match, so I'm also expecting to be disappointed with how it could be. We will have to wait and see. But I'm getting out of here. I'm starting to sweat heavily because it is humid in Ohio. So I will see you guys later.